Hey, welcome back. We have a knife here today, and it's a pretty exciting one. I may have to unbox part of this off camera. Let me take a quick look here. Yeah, let me do part of this off camera. Sorry. Doing that with the Demco 8020.5. Great for these types of jobs. All right, looks good. Just bring this over here. Get it out. Ooh. Oh yeah, there it is. Oops. The one so many of us have been waiting for. The Winterblade Co Factor. Very important. Before using your new Winterblade product, visit this website. I've been there. Save this card address. There's a certificate of authentication. This particular one's got a slight bend in the corner. Batch number 2 from Bryan Winter himself, the magician, the engineer, the genius. A magnet, a sticker, and most importantly, the knife. And this one I did get secondary because I missed this. I got the I did get the Mirage on the drop. Not on the drop, I don't know what you call it with them, on the pre-order. But I did miss this. And this one's got a nice little smudge on it, so not ideal. I'll work on cleaning that up. Probably do that off the, yeah, is it a smudge? It was just out there in like 38-degree weather, so it could be condensation. Hard to say there. I think it was a smudge though. Anyway, very cool. Really interesting how they do this. If you're not familiar, they've got like a couple magnet levels here. I think this one was already switched to the higher detent magnets. But let's take a look. So sold to me as like new in box. Hadn't been carried or cut with. And I've seen quite a few of these hit the market, but not in this color. This color seems there are very few blacks and very few blues that have been resold. There are quite a few in the silver gray. I just don't think it's the most exciting color. I don't know what it is exactly, but anyways, let's stop talking about it. We're 3 minutes in and let's get to the business. Okay. Oop, there's the ting. So these are pretty famous for this ting you get. This one doesn't have it as much. It's a little bit. Maybe it's something that comes with time. I don't know how it works exactly. I don't think these are the heavier magnets that are in it, but I'm not 100% sure. This seems pretty light to me. So pocket clip is also blue anodized, which is cool. Let me switch towels here real quick. Make sure I'm using my nice clean one here. And look, I think there's a lot of innovation here. I don't think that this knife is like profoundly different than what we're used to, you know, versus perhaps a shark lock. This seems like it's got the light detent magnets in it. I'm not 100% sure, but if I had to guess. Now what's interesting is I feel like on the Gen 1 there are 2 magnets back here, and on this batch 2 it seems like there's 1. So let's do a little comparison, because I got my buddy's Gen 1 here. So let's do a little side by side and see what's going on. Let's get rid of some of this stuff, make some room. Maybe we'll even switch magnets, to be determined. There's the Gen 1 Factor. Trying to do some quick visual comparisons here. The Gen 1 does not have a swappable magnet system. The this guy back here, let me get out of the way of the lamp, on Gen 2 is carbon fiber. This looks like it's maybe a G10 or something, like a plastic. Or is this carbon fiber? Hang on one sec, let me take a look. The dog is asking to get in, so I may have to go let him in. That thing's got like a really consistent and loud ting when it opens. And you can see back there, there are 2 magnets on this one. So I don't know if that changed. I don't remember hearing something about 1 magnet versus 2 magnets, but I certainly don't see the second magnet back there. I'm trying to see if there's a space for it, and maybe it's just not in there or something. Hang on one sec. Where's the trusty old flashlight? I don't think there's a place for the second magnet on this second gen. I don't see a way to put that in there. So I'm going to estimate that that's not the case on this new gen. It's really easy to actuate the new one. The detent's much stronger. On this one, I imagine, having a second magnet would do that. But I think the idea was he put in the second, the ability to swap the magnets here on the second gen as kind of the alternative. So you'll notice a couple differences. The pivots are different looking. This is different, and I don't know if that just pops out or how this works. And I don't know if it's 1 level of magnet or 2 level or what, but it comes with these additional magnets. I just don't really know how it all works yet. So I guess I should have read that product info before I started going, shouldn't I have? So I'm gonna get a quick look at this. Oh, look at that. So that's cool. This comes right out, so you can actually really look at it. Is that the case here too? I didn't realize that the first time I handled it. So you can really see the difference there. And that's interesting. So this one has the magnet on this side, this one has the magnet on the other side. So they're switched, right? If you're looking at the knives, the magnet is on the opposite side on this. So that's interesting. How does this work? Can you? No. I'm going to see if you could just kind of flip the blade in and out if this guy's held back, but you can't because the magnets hold it. I wonder if that'll be the case on the Mirage, because on the Mirage, pulling that back, and it acts kind of like a bar lock, it looks like, but with magnets. I wonder if the Mirage, because the Mirage, by pulling that back, it pops it out. Instead of using this on the Mirage, you pull back and it kind of gives it a pop, pops it out. But I'm curious how that'll work. What else? Does the carbon fiber pretty much look the same? Carbon fiber generally looks the same. The M390, the lettering on the blade looks similar, if not the same. So there's not a huge amount of changes, but definitely a couple of cool ones and noteworthy ones. Okay, I'm just going to try and compare the detent real quick, and then I don't know if I'm ready to try and take this apart here without reading up on it. This is not your average knife. It probably wouldn't be in my best interest. Yeah, the detent's much stronger on the old one. So I imagine the upgraded magnet probably gets a similar detent, but this is very light. So I wonder if that's the upgraded magnet or if that's the lightweight magnet. I don't know which ones he has in there, but that could be a very interesting little experiment to try and switch things out and see what the difference is. It looks pretty easy. If I'm understanding what I'm seeing, you probably just take a couple, I don't know if you take it off this side to expose it, or if it's on the other side. I think it's on the other side maybe. But yeah, it's pretty simple. So what do I think overall? I think it's a fun, fidgety little knife. See if I can, yep, no problem on the thumb deployment. You can kind of like try and go sideways and use your fingernail, but you really don't need to. You can just put a little pressure in with the meat of your thumb and get a very successful deployment. I think that was a little harder on the Gen 1. Watch out for those magnets, they'll get you. No, it's pretty freaking easy. Yeah, the Gen 1's just got a lot more detent versus the Gen 2. The Gen 2 is just really very user-friendly though. I think you can use a little bit of the detent though. I'm gonna go figure out which magnets in there. I'm gonna talk to the seller and find out if he has the stronger magnets in it or if it's the lighter magnets. If those are the lighter magnets, I'm gonna switch it out. If those are the stronger magnets, then I'm definitely gonna leave them in, because if this has any less detent, I mean, it would be nice for a rollout maybe, but this is already like 0 effort. Like that's a 20% strength effort to roll it out, maybe even a 15% or a 10% strength effort to roll it out. So I wouldn't want that to be any lighter. You can, it's just really, I think the minimum it could be for a successful, consistent reverse flick. As you can see, I'm really not missing ever, but I think if it was any lighter, it wouldn't be ideal. So right now it feels very well tuned for easy use. I would probably tune it up a little bit for more of an enthusiast type use, but that's a really cool thing about magnets is you get to adjust things in a very unique way. So let me go ahead and just put these down here, and I'm going to lay them out and go let the dog in and give you a second to soak them in all my fingerprinted glory. So let me just get zoomed in here, make sure they're in the frame, and I'll just let you enjoy that for a minute in silence. All right, the little rascal is back in the building. Mr. Demanding over here. Let me do a quick wipe down on the blades. Let's see if the blade finish looks any different on the new one versus the old one. I don't think so. I think they both look like a sort of, not a mirrored, but like a polished satin grind. I think that's the same. I think those are looking pretty much exactly identical. It's a really cool blade, very slicey. It's not like too thin where you feel like it's not going to hold up. It's definitely thin behind the edge. Very slicey, kind of intended to cut kind of blade here. Let's do a quick little edge test. Give myself a little room for this and avoid hurting myself real quick here. Let's get the Gen 1 out of the way. And just take the little Gen 2 here for a ride. It's not like a crazy good edge. It's not bad though. It's pretty freaking good. You know, you can't do that with a poor edge. But it's not like crazy, like, it's good. It's not crazy. Like you could strop this thing and it'd probably be a little bit crazy, would be my guess. So I think it's a good edge. It's probably the edge most of us should be using, but many of us like to probably take it to a slightly more ridiculous level than we need to for opening boxes and whatever else we typically use our knives for. Let's just do a quick, see just how slicey it is here. Yeah, it's not going to get through. It takes some effort. I I gotta put some serious effort in to make that work. Yeah, just to put it in context, here's my knife I sharpened myself. I don't know if that'll get through there. Yeah, I've been beating that one up pretty good. How about a factory edge from Demco? Let me just get a fresh one that's not as beat up here. Factory Demco edge to compare. No use on this one yet. That's impressive, right? Like that just goes right through it. In fact, let's see if we can take this slightly beat up one, if it can get through this. And it got about halfway down before it started to give up. That's just really good. They put an amazing edge on that. So I just called myself out on my own edge here. But I'll be doing a little, that'll make me go get this thing sharp over the weekend, that's for sure. So yeah, cool knife, cool color here. And it's just a cool experience, I think. Look, I think I'm not going to tell everyone go sell your, I don't even know what the right term is, pneumatic. What? No, that's air or whatever. Go sell your manual folding knife, throw your arms up in the air and scream for magnets until your favorite knife company does it. It's not profoundly better, but in some ways I'd say it's incrementally better. And I think one of the advantages of this is that magnets have a very low wear ratio, right? Like, how much do you think magnets are going to wear out over time? So part of one of the problems with the common detent ball is wear is a real factor. As your blade goes in and out over and over and over again. You know, arguably this is going to have less wear points because of the model. Now, arguably it could have, you know, issues on the magnets falling out, or who knows, right? You just never know. I'm not going to try and make any assessment until I were to use it or something on a daily basis, but I don't see it as being 100% better. I see it as being, you know, 20% better in some ways, and some others it's not. Like, I don't think this handles the best ergos I've ever felt. I think it's pretty darn good and flexible because it's very flat and you can choke up on it. A little pokey right there, by the way. I probably would leave that a little more dull at the very back there. There's not a whole big reason to have that be that sharp, but I just felt that there when I choked up, that it's pretty freaking sharp all the way to the back. Now, some people love that. You can always dull it yourself if you want to, but that's a little risky there. There's something about the knife that I've kind of been hearing people going, hey, I think it feels lighter than I expected or something like that. I don't think that's the case for me. I don't think it's like surprisingly light or anything like that. I mean, what do you expect if half of it's carbon fiber and half of it's titanium? Let's get this onto ounces and do a quick weigh-in. 3.4 ounces. So, you know, that's pretty similar to a Demco 8020.5, right? You know, for a very similar blade length, usability. The handle length is much lower, so it's a more efficient package, I'd say. You're probably saving half an inch to an inch. I don't want to sit here and measure them out and stuff. There are plenty of videos comparing that to other knives, but I think part of what people are sensing is, hey, when I go spend $375 on a knife, I want something substantial. And this thing is not like a big hard use knife. It's a skinny little tiny knife. And yeah, I could see why some people might not like that. I'm not seeing a ton of it. It's not like half of the thousands that have been selling, but I'd say 1% of what shipped or 2% of what shipped, people are already starting to flip. Now, some people may just be profiteering and never plan to, you know, keep them in the first place. And some people, what I'm seeing is most of the ones that are getting listed are just the silver. So maybe it's just not that exciting to people. I think there's some pretty cool color combos that shipped with this batch. The green and stuff makes it a little more interesting. The black just looks a little cooler, a little better continuity on the colors from the front to the back and stuff. But I think the blue is pretty neat. I don't know if I've seen maybe one or two of these that have listed. Not a lot of blue seem to resell, but I think those gray ones, people are just kind of maybe a little cosmetically underwhelmed. But, you know, they ordered that color. They could have ordered, you know, many different colors when they got it, and they chose that color. So anyways, it is what it is, but maybe just once they got it in person, it was just a little underwhelming. I think this blue, it's a pretty unique looking knife and one that I'm pretty excited to have in the collection personally. So overall, I'm pleased with it, and it's generally what I expected. Again, I'm gonna go talk to the person that sold it to me, since it didn't come factory. From the factory, it comes with the easier. Let's see if I can do that again. From the factory, it comes with the easier detent. But I don't know if this one already has that swapped out or not, so I'm gonna have to just go ask if it's the easier detent or not, and figure that out. You know, maybe since we got you, I'll just do a quick side-by-side with like a bug out and a pair of 3 or something. I'm not gonna go through my entire knife collection here, but it's a pair of 3. A bunch made bug out. I've got a pretty good angle on the camera right now, so there's some advantage of being front and back here that you're gonna see. I'm gonna swap them real quick. But those would be 2 pretty common, you know, I don't want to say competitors, but comparable knives for this knife. And you know, you can see the Benchmade bug out's a tad longer, but shorter. This guy's pretty similar on length and a bit taller, perhaps, than the Winterblade. So hopefully that helps. I'm not going to do too much more than that, but I think at the end of the day, it's innovative, it's creative, it's interesting, and it's well executed. Those would be like the things that I'm going to say about it. I'll probably do some more videos on this once I figure out where I'm at with the magnets and stuff and come back, because I feel like if it's not the light magnet, then he went a little light on the detent on this version, if that's the heavy magnet. But I'm assuming that's the light one, and when I go talk to the seller that he switched it, or that he did not switch it. So we'll go confirm that. But hope you enjoyed it. You know, Bryan Winter doing some super interesting stuff. If you haven't just checked out his Instagram, if you're a knife nerd like myself, if you enjoy knives, design, ideas, etc., go check out his Instagram. The innovation that he's done, like 10 plus wildly different locking mechanisms. You know, only like 1 knife is even in production. It's crazy what is to come from Winterblade, and I'm excited about that as someone that appreciates what's going on out there. You know, whether or not this becomes a daily user for you or, you know, something in your collection, to each their own. I'm not trying to be here to sell knives or anything like that. Just giving my impressions so you can maybe make an educated decision based on me as a consumer, as opposed to maybe someone that got the knife for free or something. I paid for it on the secondary market, but I paid more than, you know, what it would have cost to buy it new. Not a lot more, but a bit more. And there's all the information I can give you. So hope that helps. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell me what I didn't know about this. Yeah, thanks for sticking to the end if you did. I will see you on the next one. Take care.